Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever wondered what happens when a lifetime of love, sacrifice, and devotion is met with betrayal and neglect from those closest to you? Imagine spending decades giving everything to your family, only to find yourself abandoned on your birthday, replaced by someone else. Well, today you're going to hear a powerful story about Amanda, a woman in her 60s who experienced exactly that. But what Amanda chose to do next is both shocking and empowering. So, sit back, get comfortable, and prepare yourself for a story about betrayal, revenge, and the incredible journey of one woman's fight to reclaim her life. Amanda couldn't believe her eyes as she stared at the lottery ticket trembling in her hand. At 63 years old, after decades of working tirelessly to provide for her children, Amanda had suddenly become a millionaire overnight, winning an unbelievable $20 million. The numbers matched perfectly. Her heart raced, pounding against her chest like a wild drum. She paced back and forth in her cozy apartment, excitement and disbelief fighting for dominance within her. Immediately, her thoughts went to her two beloved children, Logan and Luna. For years, Amanda had sacrificed everything for them. Her comfort, her dreams, her happiness, just to ensure their future. This prize was not only hers. It belonged to them as well. She couldn't wait to surprise them. Her birthday was only a week away, and Amanda knew exactly how to deliver this life-changing news. Without hesitation, she carefully planned an unforgettable birthday celebration, complete with her children's favorite dishes. She went even further. She contacted real estate agents to secretly arrange 2 luxury homes, meticulously selected based on Logan's and Luna's personal tastes. On top of that, she prepared checks for $1 million each, her hands shaking as she signed them, her heart swelling with pride and love. She imagined their joy, their astonishment, their gratitude. Finally, the big day arrived. Amanda woke up early, bustling with excitement. She cooked for hours, meticulously preparing each dish to perfection. The table overflowed with vibrant colors and delicious aromas. Logan's favorite spicy chicken, Luna's adored sweet and sour shrimp, and a selection of healthy, delightful treats for her young granddaughter Vivian. Amanda glanced at the clock, anticipation bubbling within her. She'd instructed Logan and Luna to come around 6 in the evening, leaving plenty of time for a memorable evening together. But as 6 o'clock rolled by, the house remained silent. Amanda checked her phone again and again. No messages, no calls. 7 o'clock came, and then 8. And anxiety started gnawing at her heart. She texted them, gently asking if they were on their way. Silence. Time stretched on, each passing minute amplifying her worry and confusion. Finally, around 10 at night, Amanda felt panic rising. Her phone buzzed briefly. Luna sent a quick, dismissive message claiming she had to work late, and Logan soon followed, offering a similar excuse. Amanda sank into her chair, staring at the untouched feast she'd prepared, feeling abandoned and invisible. She sat there, paralyzed with disappointment, tears blurring her vision. Why would they do this? Hadn't she given them everything she possibly could? The carefully prepared real estate contracts and million-dollar checks lay untouched on the coffee table. Her heart ached terribly as she slowly realized that perhaps she'd been expecting too much. Perhaps her love had always been a one-way street. For the first time, Amanda wondered if she'd ever truly mattered to them at all. Little did she know, this heartbreaking evening was just the beginning of a life-changing journey, one filled with shocking revelations, bitter truths, and a fight for self-worth that would soon redefine who Amanda was forever. Amanda sat alone at the dining table, the silence deafening as the clock's hands ticked mercilessly toward midnight. Her beautifully prepared feast, now cold and untouched, mocked her from across the room. She stared numbly at her phone, repeatedly checking for messages from Logan and Luna, but each time, her heart sank further. They hadn't even bothered to call, just brief, dismissive texts blaming work emergencies. Amanda's eyes stung with tears she refused to shed, pride battling heartache within her. Unable to bear the suffocating silence anymore, Amanda stood up and walked to the window, gazing out into the dimly lit street. Just then, a sharp knock startled her. When she opened the door, Sammy, her nosy neighbor, stood there with a smug expression. Amanda never particularly liked Sammy. They'd shared an uncomfortable past, competing fiercely at work years ago. Now retired, Sammy still seemed to find joy in Amanda's discomfort. Before Amanda could speak, Sammy shoved her phone forward. "Thought you might want to see how your precious kids spent their evening," Sammy sneered bitterly, her eyes glittering maliciously. Amanda hesitated but then took the phone, instantly regretting it. Her chest tightened painfully as she watched the shaky footage of a lavish celebration, a party overflowing with laughter and champagne. The camera focused sharply on Chloe, the woman who'd shattered Amanda's marriage years before, now elegantly dressed, radiant, smiling broadly at her guests. Beside her stood Jeff, Amanda's ex-husband, linking arms affectionately with Chloe, celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary alongside Chloe's birthday. Amanda's knees felt weak as the camera panned toward Logan and Luna. Her children, her flesh and blood, stood beside their father and Chloe, their faces glowing with genuine happiness. Logan handed Chloe a stunning gold bracelet, his smile bright and proud. Luna presented Chloe with an extravagant jewelry set, her eyes sparkling with affection, calling Chloe Mom as naturally as breathing. Amanda felt her heart splinter, each frame of the video twisting the knife deeper. Then the most devastating moment arrived. Amanda's granddaughter, Vivian, stepped into view, clutching Chloe's hand lovingly. "Grandma Chloe," Vivian chirped innocently, eyes wide with adoration. "You're way prettier and nicer than my other grandma. I want you to be my real grandma now." Amanda's vision blurred as Sammy cruelly retrieved her phone, smiling coldly. "You see," Sammy taunted, "all your sacrifices, all your devotion, wasted on a pair of ungrateful kids. Must sting, huh?" Amanda said nothing, barely hearing Sammy's bitter laughter as she turned and walked away, leaving Amanda frozen in the doorway, shattered by betrayal. Closing the door, Amanda staggered back inside, collapsing onto the couch, feeling as if her entire world had imploded. Her children hadn't just missed her birthday. They'd deliberately chosen Chloe over her, showering the woman who destroyed her marriage with lavish affection. It felt like a brutal slap in the face, proof she'd failed as a mother. Sitting alone in her darkened living room, Amanda finally allowed tears to flow freely, each sob racking her body painfully. The bitter truth settled heavily upon her heart. Logan and Luna had moved on without her. The love she'd so freely given meant nothing compared to their desire for wealth and approval from Jeff and Chloe. Little did Amanda know, this crushing betrayal was about to awaken something fierce within her, a determination to reclaim her dignity and teach her children a powerful lesson they'd never forget. Amanda sat in the dimly lit living room, her tears gradually drying as memories she'd long buried rushed back with brutal clarity. The betrayal by her children tonight was painfully familiar, echoing another devastating betrayal she'd suffered decades earlier. As her thoughts drifted, Amanda saw herself young again, trapped in a marriage that drained her spirit and shattered her heart. Amanda had met Jeff when she was just 24, young, hopeful, and full of dreams. Jeff was charming, stable, and seemed like the perfect husband. Her family encouraged the marriage, praising Jeff's secure government job and his respectable image. But Amanda soon discovered that beneath Jeff's carefully polished exterior lay secrets darker than she ever imagined. The first clue emerged when Amanda, overwhelmed after the birth of her twins, Logan and Luna, begged Jeff to ask his mother, Laura, for help. Jeff brushed her off repeatedly, insisting Laura was too ill or busy. Desperate and struggling, Amanda believed him until one day, Jeff's aunt revealed a heartbreaking truth. Laura was indeed caring for children, but not her own grandchildren. Instead, Jeff had sent Laura to help Chloe, his former college sweetheart, whom he had secretly loved for years. Amanda's world collapsed further when she discovered Jeff's hidden letters filled with passionate declarations and intimate confessions. Her hands shook violently as she read Chloe's mocking words, ridiculing Amanda's struggles and appearance, and boasting how Jeff secretly sent her money from his limited salary. The letters tore at Amanda's soul, leaving permanent scars she carried silently for years. When confronted, Jeff showed no remorse. Instead, he coldly dismissed Amanda's pain, belittling her anguish and labeling her hysterical. The marriage unraveled quickly, turning their home into a battleground filled with shouting, resentment, and emotional torment. Amanda endured, believing she had no choice. But the final blow came one winter night when, after another vicious argument, Jeff violently shoved her against a table, injuring her badly. As she lay on the floor, crying in agony, Jeff turned away without a second glance, indifferent to her pain. That night Amanda decided enough was enough. Gathering her courage, she finally divorced Jeff, determined to free herself from his toxic hold. But the price of her freedom was high. She lost her home, family support, and financial security. Her own parents turned their backs on her, shamed by her failure. Even Logan initially remained with Jeff, leaving Amanda alone with baby Luna, battling poverty and loneliness. Still, Amanda refused to surrender. She struggled fiercely, working multiple jobs, enduring sleepless nights and relentless exhaustion, driven only by love for her children. Eventually, Logan returned to her after experiencing cruelty from Chloe, strengthening Amanda's resolve. She worked tirelessly, climbing the corporate ladder step by agonizing step, determined her children would never lack again. Yet tonight, decades later, Amanda's sacrifices seemed meaningless. The children she'd fought so hard for had chosen Chloe, the woman who'd haunted Amanda's past and nearly destroyed her future. Amanda closed her eyes, realizing that history was repeating itself cruelly, echoing her past torment. But this time, Amanda resolved fiercely, things would be different. She would not endure betrayal quietly or allow her heart to break again. This time, Amanda would reclaim her dignity and rewrite her story, turning echoes of past pain into a powerful anthem of self-respect. Amanda had barely gathered her composure when the front door suddenly opened, startling her. She turned to see Logan and Luna casually strolling into the house, chatting comfortably as if nothing had happened. Amanda's heart clenched tightly, a wave of bitterness washing over her. Logan glanced around the dining room, eyeing the cold, untouched food and shrugged carelessly. Luna merely sighed impatiently. "Mom, seriously. It's not that big of a deal," Luna remarked, her voice dripping with annoyance. Amanda's gaze narrowed sharply. "Not a big deal. Do you realize I waited all night for you?" Amanda's voice trembled, her emotions barely restrained. Logan waved dismissively, pulling out a chair and sitting down lazily. "We told you we were busy. Work is important. You always taught us that, remember?" Amanda's jaw tightened, her eyes filled with disbelief. "Work? You lied to me. I know exactly where you were, celebrating Chloe's anniversary and birthday." Silence enveloped the room, heavy and tense. Luna's eyes flickered, guilt briefly crossing her face before being quickly replaced with defiance. "So what if we did? Dad invited us. Chloe is family too." Amanda felt as if she'd been slapped. "Family? After everything that woman has done to me? After everything I sacrificed for both of you?" Luna stood abruptly, irritation flashing in her eyes. "Sacrificed? Mom, please. If you hadn't insisted on divorcing Dad, if you just endured a little longer, none of us would have struggled so hard. You destroyed our family, not Chloe. Dad's career was ruined because of you." Amanda's breath caught in her chest, Luna's accusations piercing deeper than any physical wound. Tears blurred her vision, but she blinked them away fiercely. "So, it's my fault. Your father cheated, lied, abandoned me, and yet I'm the one you blame." Logan shifted uncomfortably but said nothing, his silence a brutal betrayal of its own. Luna's voice grew colder, each word sharper than the last. "Dad moved on years after your divorce. Chloe isn't the problem, you are. You just can't let go. Now you're punishing us because you're bitter." Amanda's voice shook violently. "Punishing you? I gave you everything. I raised you alone, struggled for years, working tirelessly so you could have a better life." Luna scoffed bitterly. "And you never stopped reminding us about it. Dad offers opportunities. Chloe treats us kindly without conditions. Why wouldn't we choose them? The room spun around Amanda, Luna's words echoing cruelly. Her children's faces, the faces she'd adored, now seemed unfamiliar, twisted by entitlement and ingratitude. Amanda reached towards the table, her trembling hands gripping the 2 checks and real estate contracts she'd carefully prepared. "I had planned something incredible for you both tonight," Amanda whispered, her voice dangerously calm. "Luxury homes and $1 million each. I thought it would change your lives." Logan and Luna's eyes widened greedily, their anger momentarily replaced by surprise and expectation. Amanda stared at them, her heartbreak hardening into resolve. "But you've shown me clearly that I've wasted my love on ungrateful strangers." Without hesitation, Amanda tore the checks and contracts into pieces, the sound sharp and final, scattering the fragments onto the table. Luna gasped, outraged, reaching forward, but Amanda's fierce glare froze her. "Get out," Amanda said firmly, her voice quiet but filled with unshakable strength. "From this moment I have no son, no daughter. Go to Chloe, your new mother. Perhaps she'll give you everything you truly deserve." Logan and Luna stood frozen, stunned by Amanda's fierce determination. Amanda turned her back, walking steadily away, refusing to shed another tear. Tonight marked the end of Betrayal, and the beginning of Amanda reclaiming her dignity, her life, and her worth. The following morning, Amanda woke early, clarity and resolve shining fiercely in her eyes. Her decision was firm. She would no longer be the victim. For too long, she had lived her life for others, sacrificing her happiness, health, and peace. But today was different. Today, Amanda was taking back control. Without wasting any time, Amanda contacted her lawyer, instructing him to put Logan's home, the very one Amanda herself had financed, up for immediate sale. When the realtor arrived, Amanda handed over her spare key, calmly opening the door to the house she'd bought with years of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. The realtor hesitated, sensing family tension, but Amanda's steady, unwavering gaze made it clear that there was no going back. Within hours, the sale sign stood proudly outside the property, a bold statement that Amanda was finally free from her children's financial exploitation. Later that afternoon, Amanda made another decisive call, this time to Luna's landlord. Her voice, clear and unwavering, informed him she would no longer pay Luna's expensive rent. Amanda felt a surprising sense of liberation as she hung up the phone. Her financial ties to Logan and Luna were now completely severed, the chains finally broken. Days turned into weeks, and Amanda quickly moved into a beautiful villa she'd purchased for herself, a cozy haven with sunlit rooms, lush gardens, and tranquil surroundings. For the first time in decades, Amanda felt peace settle gently around her shoulders. Each morning, she would wake to the soft sound of birds singing, sunlight streaming through her windows, filling the rooms with warmth. Amanda discovered a joy in small, simple things: gardening in her flower-filled backyard, planting roses and hydrangeas, their vibrant colors blooming brilliantly under her care. She adopted 2 charming rescue cats, naming them Willow and Jasper. The gentle companionship of these affectionate animals filled her previously empty home with life and love, easing the loneliness that had once haunted her nights. Amanda spent serene afternoons curled up on her porch swing, sipping tea, her beloved cats purring softly beside her as she immersed herself in stories that carried her far away from past hurts. Yet peace never lasts quietly when others refuse to let go. One evening, Amanda's phone rang incessantly. It was Logan, furious and frantic. Amanda answered calmly, expecting confrontation. "Mom, what do you think you're doing? You're selling my house. Have you lost your mind?" Logan shouted angrily. "No, Logan," Amanda replied, her voice steady, unapologetic. "I'm simply reclaiming my life. That house was never yours, it was mine. You and Luna chose your path clearly. Now live with the consequences." Before Logan could argue, Amanda ended the call decisively. Moments later, Luna called, equally enraged. "Mom, my landlord just called. Are you seriously abandoning me like this?" Luna, Amanda said gently but firmly, I haven't abandoned you. You've simply chosen someone else. Let Chloe and your father support you from now on. My responsibility has ended. Amanda blocked their numbers without another word, silencing their angry, entitled protests. She leaned back into her chair, exhaling deeply. A gentle smile spread across her face as a warm breeze drifted softly through her garden, brushing her cheeks tenderly, as if affirming her new direction. Amanda felt stronger than ever, basking in newfound independence. No longer defined by motherhood or betrayal, Amanda was finally living for herself. Her life was no longer bound by obligation, bitterness, or regret. It was now a celebration of peace, self-respect, and freedom, and Amanda vowed never to lose it again. Before we continue with Amanda's powerful story, I want to pause here for just a moment. I'm really curious to know, what do you think about Amanda's decision to finally stand up for herself? Do you feel she's justified in cutting off her children after all they've done? Or do you think she should have handled things differently? Please share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I'd love to read your perspectives on Amanda's journey so far. And now, let's jump back into the story and see what happens next. Months passed peacefully, and Amanda's villa became a sanctuary of calm. Her days were filled with gardening, reading, and the quiet companionship of Willow and Jasper, her affectionate rescue cats. Yet, tranquility rarely lasts forever, especially when desperation knocks unexpectedly. One afternoon, Amanda heard sharp knocking at her door, jolting her from her afternoon reading. She rose slowly, opened the door, and felt her heart tighten at the sight of Logan and Luna standing angrily on her porch. Their appearances startled her. Logan's clothes were wrinkled and unkempt, dark circles shadowing his eyes, and Luna looked exhausted, tension etching harsh lines across her face. "Mom, we need to talk," Logan said harshly, barely waiting for Amanda to respond before pushing past her into the house. Luna followed closely, glaring at Amanda accusingly as she shut the door behind her. Amanda took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Very well," she said calmly. "Say what you came to say." Logan paced restlessly, finally exploding with anger. "How could you do this to us, Mom? Selling our home. You knew we had nowhere else to go. Now Michelle's threatening divorce because we're practically homeless." Luna cut in sharply, bitterness dripping from her voice. "And my landlord evicted me. My wedding is weeks away and you've left me scrambling. Lucifer and I are humiliated. Why would you abandon us like this?" Amanda stood tall, her voice firm yet steady. "I didn't abandon you. You both made your choices very clear. When you chose Chloe over me, you willingly stepped away from my support. I'm simply respecting your decision." Logan shook his head furiously, disbelief twisting his features. "We're your children. Chloe was nice to us, yes, but it didn't mean you had to punish us by cutting everything off. We're drowning, Mom." Amanda's eyes flashed sharply, her voice growing cold. "I spent my life keeping you afloat. I gave you everything I had. Money, homes, opportunities, only to be cast aside. You've proven clearly what matters most to you. Now let Chloe provide what you need." Luna stepped forward defiantly. "You owe us this. You were supposed to take care of us no matter what. Dad and Chloe can't afford to help now. You're the only one left." Amanda smiled sadly, shaking her head slowly. "I owe you nothing, Luna. My only mistake was giving too much, too freely, expecting nothing in return. But I've learned from that mistake. This isn't revenge. It's me finally respecting myself." Logan's eyes filled with frustration, desperation creeping into his voice. "Mom, please. We didn't mean to hurt you. We're struggling. Help us just this once, and we'll never ask again." Amanda sighed, her voice softer but unwavering. "Logan, you never stop asking. And every time I've come to your rescue. But no more. If I keep saving you, you'll never learn to stand on your own." Luna's anger erupted fiercely. "Fine. Be selfish, Mom. But don't come crying to us when you're alone, old, and helpless. Chloe will be at my wedding in your seat. Don't bother showing up. Amanda met Luna's fury calmly. Chloe can sit wherever you wish. I've already said goodbye. You're adults. It's time you faced your choices. Logan and Luna stormed out, the door slamming behind them, echoing loudly through the empty room. Amanda sat quietly, absorbing the silence. Instead of pain, she felt profound relief. She had set firm boundaries, choosing self-respect over exploitation. Willow brushed gently against Amanda's legs, purring softly. Amanda smiled, lifting the small cat into her lap, returning to her peaceful reading nook, finally understanding the true meaning of freedom. Amanda's newfound peace was once again disrupted by an unexpected visitor. On a cloudy afternoon, while pruning roses in her peaceful garden, she heard footsteps approaching. Turning around, she recognized immediately the figure of her older brother Jack, standing stiffly at her gate. Years had passed since they'd last spoken, but the entitled look in his eyes remained unchanged. "Amanda," Jack began, his voice carefully controlled, yet carrying an undercurrent of arrogance. "We need to talk. It's about Mom and Dad." Amanda sighed deeply, wiping dirt from her hands, her expression unreadable. She opened the gate, motioning him inside without warmth. "Say what you came here to say, Jack." Jack stepped in, glancing around at Amanda's charming villa, envy flickering briefly in his eyes. "Dad had a fall, Amanda. He's bedridden, and Mom isn't strong enough to care for him alone. They've been asking for you." Amanda studied him quietly, feeling a surge of buried resentment stirring deep within. "They've been asking for me. After all these years. That's ironic." Jack frowned, visibly irritated by her response. "They're our parents, Amanda. Whatever disagreements we've had, they raised us. You owe them something." Amanda's eyes narrowed sharply, her voice firm and unwavering. "I owe them nothing, Jack. Have you forgotten how they abandoned me when Jeff destroyed my life? Or how they sided with him, turning their backs on me and my children?" Jack waved dismissively, annoyance etched across his face. "Ancient history. Family sticks together, especially in times like these. Besides, if you won't help them, who will?" Amanda's gaze hardened. "You mean if I don't step in, you'll have to sacrifice your own comfort? The truth is, you've always been their favorite, Jack. You benefited from their favoritism your entire life. Now, when things are difficult, suddenly you remember you have a sister." Jack's expression darkened angrily, frustration edging his words. "Look, Amanda, I can't handle this alone. It's your responsibility too, legally and morally." Amanda stared him down calmly. "Then take me to court, Jack. Because I'm not stepping back into that toxic cycle. I built this life for myself without their support or yours, and I intend to keep it that way." Jack stood in shocked silence, his eyes blazing. Finally he muttered bitterly, "You'll regret this, Amanda," before storming away. Months passed until one evening, Amanda's phone rang softly, breaking the serenity of her evening tea. The voice on the other end was weak, barely recognizable, yet unmistakably her father's. "Amanda," he rasped faintly, desperation filling his fragile voice. "I'm sorry. I treated you terribly and now I don't have much time left." Amanda listened silently, unmoved by his sudden regret. After decades of dismissal, his belated remorse seemed hollow. "I'm not looking for your forgiveness," he continued weakly, "but please come see me once." After a long silence, Amanda responded quietly, without emotion. "I'll send money to cover medical expenses and the funeral, but I won't come. You lost the right to my presence a long time ago." Her father's breath trembled, a weak sob escaping before the call ended. True to her word, Amanda arranged minimal financial support out of duty rather than affection. When her father passed away soon afterward, Amanda didn't attend the funeral, nor did she grieve. She stood instead in her sunny garden, pruning roses, feeling strangely at peace. Amanda had finally broken free of all obligations and guilt. The ghosts of her family's past could no longer haunt or manipulate her. As the sun gently broke through the clouds, warming her skin, Amanda knew that true freedom came not from forgiveness given too easily, but from standing firm and refusing to be dragged back into a past she had long left behind. With all ties to her painful past finally cut, Amanda felt free to chase the dreams she'd quietly nurtured for years. Energized by newfound independence, she transformed her passion for books and coffee into reality, opening a charming bookstore cafe named Amanda's Haven. Nestled in the heart of town, the cafe quickly blossomed into a vibrant, welcoming space that drew people from all walks of life. Amanda poured herself into creating the cafe, personally choosing every detail, from plush armchairs and cozy reading nooks to the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee that greeted customers as soon as they walked in. The shelves overflowed with novels, classics, and bestsellers, inviting visitors to lose themselves in worlds far away from daily worries. Word spread swiftly, and soon Amanda's Haven became the heart of the community. Students gathered there to study, friends shared laughter over cappuccinos, and families bonded over storytelling sessions. Amanda's warmth and generosity infused every corner, turning the cafe into a place where everyone felt at home. Her employees, a diverse group of students, aspiring artists, and people seeking second chances, flourished under Amanda's care. She offered fair wages, flexible hours, and genuine mentorship. Employees who initially saw the job merely as a paycheck soon discovered loyalty and pride, inspired by Amanda's compassion and respect. One evening, as Amanda watched her bustling cafe from behind the counter, a young reporter named Emily approached cautiously, notebook in hand. "Ms. Amanda, your cafe has become incredibly popular," Emily began enthusiastically. "People speak so warmly about you. Would you mind sharing your story with our readers?" Amanda hesitated briefly, but seeing the sincerity in Emily's eyes, she nodded with a gentle smile. "I'd be honored." The resulting news interview captivated the town, beautifully narrating Amanda's journey of self-discovery, resilience, and triumph. Amanda candidly shared how she'd once been trapped by familial obligations, but had finally reclaimed her life. "I've learned," Amanda explained confidently, "that real happiness comes from choosing yourself first, not from endlessly sacrificing for others." The community embraced her story passionately. Amanda's cafe, already beloved, soon overflowed with customers eager to support and connect with this remarkable woman who had inspired them all. People stopped Amanda frequently to thank her, sharing their own struggles and how her story encouraged them to take control of their lives. Amanda's employees, inspired by her example, brainstormed monthly themed events and special literary evenings, turning the cafe into a hub of creativity and connection. The cafe buzzed constantly with energy, laughter, and warmth, a reflection of Amanda's own vibrant spirit. One quiet evening, as Amanda closed up shop, her longtime employee, Sarah, approached her with grateful eyes. "Amanda," she said sincerely, "you've changed our lives, giving us a place to grow and feel valued. I can't thank you enough." Amanda smiled warmly, gently squeezing Sarah's hand. "You've given me something precious too, a purpose, a sense of family, and proof that kindness returns to us in unexpected ways." Walking home that night beneath a sky full of stars, Amanda felt immense pride. Her painful past was now overshadowed by the legacy she'd carefully built, a thriving community filled with warmth, friendship, and boundless opportunity. She knew she had not merely survived. She had flourished, turning hardship into hope, betrayal into belonging, and finally, loneliness into lasting joy. Amanda was carefully arranging freshly baked pastries behind the cafe counter when she heard the door open, the familiar chime filling the peaceful morning air. Looking up, Amanda froze as she saw Luna standing nervously in the doorway. Luna looked exhausted, her face pale, eyes swollen from tears, one hand resting protectively on her heavily pregnant belly. "Mom," Luna began shakily, stepping forward hesitantly. Amanda felt a tightening in her chest, emotions swirling, pain, anger, sadness, and concern all fighting for dominance. "Luna," Amanda responded softly but firmly, indicating a quiet corner table. Luna followed obediently, her eyes avoiding Amanda's steady gaze. Once seated, Luna's composure shattered. Tears spilled down her face as she confessed desperately. "Mom, I messed everything up. Lucifer has betrayed me. He's been having an affair, and now he's left me for another woman who's also pregnant. I've lost everything." Amanda's heart twisted painfully, remembering vividly the sting of betrayal she herself had once felt. Despite the turmoil inside, she maintained a calm exterior, gently nodding. "I'm sorry you're hurting, Luna. Truly, I am." Luna sobbed softly, pleadingly. "Mom, please. I realize now how wrong I was. Dad and Chloe won't even answer my calls anymore. They don't care. I understand what you went through. How difficult it was to raise us alone. I need your help. I need your support." Amanda studied Luna quietly, her voice compassionate yet steady. "I understand your pain, Luna. But remember, you chose a different family. You chose Chloe and your father, believing they'd support you better than I could. You must handle this on your own." Luna's eyes widened, disbelief shadowing her expression. "Mom, please. I'm scared. I don't have anyone else." Amanda reached across the table, gently touching Luna's hand, her voice clear and strong. "I was scared too. Remember all the times I worked multiple jobs, enduring sleepless nights, raising you and Logan alone. I faced betrayal and abandonment, but I survived. You can too, Luna." Luna's voice shook, desperation edging her words. "How did you do it, Mom? How did you stay strong?" Amanda's voice softened slightly, but her conviction never wavered. "Because I had no other choice. Life forced me to become strong. You must now find your own strength, not for anyone else, but for yourself and your child." Luna sat back, tears silently streaming down her face, slowly absorbing Amanda's words. Finally, realization dawned painfully. "You gave us everything, Mom, and we took it all for granted. I see now that Chloe never loved us, she used us. Dad never really cared either." Amanda nodded gently. "The past can't be changed, Luna. But your future is yours alone. Use your experiences to become wiser. Learn from them, and teach your child to value genuine love and kindness." Luna rose unsteadily, wiping her tears, her voice subdued. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, Mom. But thank you for listening and for being honest." Amanda stood too, her eyes filled with a quiet strength born from a lifetime of overcoming pain. "You're stronger than you realize, Luna. You'll find your way. Believe in yourself." Luna walked slowly toward the door, pausing briefly to look back at Amanda, gratitude mixed with sorrow in her eyes. Then she stepped outside, disappearing down the street. Amanda stood still, her heart aching yet hopeful. Luna had come face to face with regret and was finally beginning to understand the cost of her choices. Amanda returned to the counter, quietly resuming her tasks, comforted by the knowledge that she'd done her part. Luna's journey now was her own, but Amanda hoped deeply that, in time, her daughter would find peace, strength, and the independence she herself had fought so fiercely to achieve. Amanda's cafe buzzed with life, laughter, and the comforting aroma of freshly ground coffee. Months had turned to years, and her peaceful existence had blossomed into genuine happiness. Yet, life had a way of bringing news from distant pasts, even when least expected. One afternoon, while Amanda was tidying the shelves, Sarah approached her hesitantly, holding a local newspaper. Amanda took one glance at Sarah's cautious expression and understood immediately something significant lay in its pages. Gently, she unfolded the paper and saw headlines that made her pause. Jeff, her ex-husband, had suffered a devastating stroke, leaving him paralyzed and unable to speak. Chloe, who once stood by his side, had swiftly abandoned him, emptying their joint savings, unwilling to care for a husband who'd become a burden. Jeff now relied entirely on Logan, whose own life had spiraled downward, crippled by debts, unemployment, and loneliness. His marriage had collapsed under the strain, leaving him isolated and struggling to survive. As Amanda continued reading, she saw that Luna had also faced her own harsh realities. After leaving Lucifer, Luna had moved to another city, determined to start anew. She now struggled, working tirelessly as a single mother, slowly understanding the enormous sacrifices Amanda had once made for her. Sarah watched Amanda cautiously, concern flickering across her young face. "Are you okay, Amanda? That's your family, isn't it?" Amanda folded the newspaper calmly, smiling softly at Sarah. "They made their choices. My life doesn't belong to their troubles anymore." Sarah nodded, relieved, returning to work as Amanda walked slowly to her favorite spot by the window. Gazing outside at the gentle afternoon sun warming the street, Amanda allowed herself a quiet moment to reflect. She felt no satisfaction at their suffering, nor did she carry bitterness. Instead, a deep sense of calm and closure filled her heart. She had warned them long ago about the paths they'd chosen, but now their journeys belonged solely to them. In the days following, some expected Amanda to reach out, to offer forgiveness or perhaps assistance. But Amanda consciously chose not to. Her silence wasn't cruelty or revenge. It was simply acceptance. She had learned to cherish her own peace, her independence, the gentle rhythms of the life she had carefully rebuilt. Amanda spent her days tending her flourishing garden, sharing stories with friends at her cafe, and nurturing her cherished employees. Each evening, she sat quietly with her beloved cats curled at her feet, basking in a contentment she'd never imagined possible. One sunny afternoon, Amanda walked along the nearby park, savoring the warm breeze rustling through the leaves. As she paused beside a tranquil pond, she saw her reflection clearly in the water, strong, confident, and deeply content. A soft smile spread across her lips. She thought of her past, how she'd been shattered by betrayal and abandonment, and how she'd pieced herself back together, stronger than before. She'd transformed pain into strength, loneliness into independence, and heartbreak into freedom. The woman she saw now was no longer defined by others' actions. Amanda had risen above victimhood, embracing a life filled with joy, dignity, and self-respect. Amanda breathed deeply, inhaling the fragrance of blooming flowers nearby. She felt immense gratitude, not because her family had suffered consequences, but because she'd discovered her true worth along the way. Her journey hadn't been easy, but every struggle had led her here, to a life genuinely lived for herself. Turning back toward her cafe, Amanda walked slowly, savoring every step. Her heart felt lighter than ever before, and as the sun warmed her face, Amanda knew she'd finally found true freedom, living each day happily, peacefully, and wholly for herself. Thank you so much for listening to Amanda's powerful and inspiring story today. Through her journey, we've learned an incredibly important lesson, that no matter how much we love others, it's crucial to value and respect ourselves first. Remember, you have the strength to take back control and live the life you truly deserve. I'd love to hear how this story made you feel. Please share your thoughts, insights, or personal experiences in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories. I'll see you next time.